In this video, you're going to learn a formula for changing other people's behaviour, and it will help you get the people you want to influence from a no to a yes. If you're new to NLP for Influence, you just might want to subscribe. It's completely free to subscribe, and subscribing just makes sure you don't miss out on any of the good stuff. And if you find this video valuable, please just hit the like button. It lets me know what to do more of. And comment below about your experiences in changing other people's behaviour and what works for you. I'm a lifelong student of this stuff, and I love to hear what other people are doing and what works for them. So in this video, I'm introducing you to a secret passion of mine. And it's something that I've been working on for many years now, but I've only been sharing it with my corporate clients. And that's conversational influence. For now, it fits in well with NLP for Influence, but in the not too distant future, it will be its own thing, and it'll have its own channel. So before we go any further, you might ask yourself, is this ethical? It's an interesting question. It's been raised many times before. But for me, a good rule of thumb is to always act in the very best of interests for everyone that you communicate with. So all that said, let's get started. So let me hit you early on with the first conversational influence formula for creating behavioural change. Here it is. Negative emotions plus a behavioural plan will lead to behavioural change. Decades of research reveals that specific instructions are necessary to influence and induce compliance. So what does that mean to you as a secret agent of change? It means that you need to walk people step by step through a process that leads them to the door that you ultimately want them to open. Everything short of that is likely to fail. So that's the behavioural plan element of this conversational influence formula. And here's the next. Fear is something we are all wired to fight or run away from. Many of you are going to be familiar with the principle of fight or flight. This is an autonomic response. No one likes to experience fear, and therefore fear literally can motivate people in ways few other things can. So there you have two of the elements of the formula: negative emotion and the behavioural plan. Unfortunately, as with many things, it is not quite as simple as that. Often, people have heard the warnings before, and therefore have literally been inoculated against this kind of proposal. So what can we do? We need to employ perhaps the most powerful of our thought processes and strategies, and that's the power of our imagination. We use the power of our imagination to introduce the concept of anticipated regret. It's not enough just to give an emotional warning. Otherwise, the government campaign "Smoking Kills" would have ensured that everyone had stopped smoking already. Now, if you're a smoker, what impact has this campaign had on your habit? We use the power of imagination to project people into the future and to anticipate a situation in that future that they can well imagine regretting. Now, I've been in sales as a training consultant for many years, amongst many other things. In fact, since 2000. In that time, I've had many discussions with people in organisations about the value of training their sales teams. And of course, intellectually, everyone gets the importance. Just like everyone intellectually knows that smoking kills. In the same way, despite knowing how essential training is to keep sales professionals performing at the highest level in such a competitive world, it's still often sales directors and CEOs first thing that they try and chop. So I might say something like, imagine a year when your sales teams don't hit target. And imagine what the board will think about that performance and how it will reflect on you as a sales director. Imagine if you don't act and develop those salespeople, what that means practically. If they do what they've always done, you will get what you've always got, and that's a missed sales target. They may even start to get disillusioned with the company because they aren't being supported and developed and consider leaving. It's a downward spiral. And then if you don't put measures in place to change the sales team's skill, knowledge and motivation the next year, then you'll get exactly the same performance again the year after. Can you project yourself forward into the next year's appraisal and the review of your performance? How do you think that might go? What will the CEO think? What's his impression of you and your teams? You might also want to consider what your recruitment costs might be like. Now consider how you'll feel about that meeting with the CEO and that board of directors. The good news is, with some carefully planned investment in your team, you can expect a higher performance from the team and a positive return on your investment. Advanced Sales Development System is the most comprehensive advanced training in the industry. We can run each module each month over the next 6 months, which means that time out of the field is kept to a minimum. We can evaluate the training each month as we go and measure retention and motivation as we go using the online learning portal. And the bonus is that because the team feel like they're being invested in, retention will be higher, which will further impact positively on your return on investment. So I know for a fact that this kind of conversational influence works. So what we've done there is introduced negative emotions amplified by anticipated regret with the addition of that behavioural plan, which gave them step-by-step actions to take. So here's a small conversational influence project for you so that you can introduce this stuff into your own business communication. Just write down 10 things your business does for people that if they didn't take advantage of your product, your service or your offering, there would be negative consequences for them. What we're doing here is applying the concept of those negative emotions and amplified them within anticipated regret. And if you are going to use tactics like this in order to foster change or alter behaviour, you must also include that step-by-step set of instructions in your message in order for it to be successful. So tell them what to do next. Be very clear, be very specific. Thank you for watching. Remember to subscribe just to keep up to date with the good stuff, and comment below your favourite change strategies, and I'll see you next week for another NLP for Influence change strategy.